I wanted to share something real quick because it just came to my mind. And it's, they have the Bible talks about Babylon falling, right? And I don't think that they realize why Babylon falls. Because Babylon could rise, right? And if we think about in the order of the spiritual realm and how things work, and the order of your soul as well, how you have ascending and descending. The earth has a soul, the earth has a spirit, right? And so all of this was all one land. It was all called, because you don't hear people talking about it anymore, right? Like, not you probably don't even hear your mothers or your grandmothers or great grandmothers talking about it anymore. But this was all the motherland, right? Initially. And if you think about it this way, we got the patriarchy, right? The patriarchy is the one that is governing a lot of the systems. The Babylon system, everything is being orchestrated by a masculine entity. Let's just leave it there, okay? And this is initially the motherland. But the men on this motherland, which is the whole earth, do not want to acknowledge that 144, my time on my phone, do not want to acknowledge that the time is changing. And I'm not going to say that their timeline is ending anymore because they get defensive. And it's not that a matter of you all ending. It's a matter of a new beginning and an acknowledgement for the mother, for balance to be restored. They are not recognizing that at all, and they don't want to recognize it, but it's the truth. And when the earth, Babylon would be falling. And y'all got to think about something. Babylon is not a set apart area where you can separate and make spiritual jurisdictions. I was thinking that you could do that, but you can't do that because the only thing that separates is the bodies of water. And throughout time, in the past, there has always been some type of chaos that happened upon the earth. And there would be a fresh start. Either it was through water or through fire, right? The last time that anything went through anything, it was through water. They keep trying to prevent the earth from ending and from a fresh start. Many of us don't want the earth to end. We don't want to go through some type of chaos, right? And die no horrific deaths. Nor do we want to sit back and watch anybody else go through that. That's for us that are that have this divine empathy that's in us, right? And I was going through a certain phase throughout this spiritual journey and this spiritual warfare where they would tell me, I forgot about that part. They told me to smoke because the earth was falling. They were like, oh, the Babylon is falling. Something is happening. You got to smoke yourself up to help lift the earth up. They told me I was the earth. They told me to smoke myself up because the earth was ending. And so it would help lift the vibration of the earth by me smoking myself up. That's what they were telling us in the spiritual communities. And so some of us that were smokers, I guess they knew. And so they would tell you to. And so basically I had quit smoking. But all of the smoking started back right before I moved back to Atlanta. Right before I moved back to Atlanta. And I went through something where they removed my veil, took my gifts, made me into a universe, took my power. And this was all apparently done by my ex-husband and his new girlfriend, right? So they wanted me to get down and fight the way that they do. And if they didn't want that, there was a big brother behind the scenes orchestrating everything, KKK, White Klan, watching again, because they do their work now different. They do their work through sorcery and spirituality because they are too scared to confront us physically. They are too scared. They would never confront us as melanated beings physically unless they get bold or consumed, and they are imbalanced. Most of the time they stay behind the scenes trying to do their work against melanated beings in spirituality, and they don't have to do anything. They just keep turning us against each other. And I keep telling everybody that's melanated, y'all got to stop going against each other in spirituality. Y'all got to stop this spiritual warfare, especially if you know that it's not the person that you're battling. If you are in the Bible and you read scriptures, you ought to know by now that it is not the flesh that you're battling. It's the spirit behind the flesh. We cannot keep going against each other as melanated people in no spiritual warfare about no spiritual gifts. And you cannot force anybody to be in your spiritual community. The ghetto and ratchetness that is in the spiritual community is being governed by another woman that is saying she is me and saying she is the queen. And then now she's put my ex-husband as her king. And this man don't like you in the physical, don't want you. He claims you as a friend, but don't really want to be with, but don't want to be with you. If this is what y'all are in agreement to in the physical, so he don't pay child support, that's y'all problem. But to me, he lies and tells me that, oh, he don't get much money and he has so many bills and he can't do this and he can't do that. And so that's what he speaks. But in reality, I know for a fact that he went through a lot of health problems. Those health problems that he went through is because, like the doctor says, he wasn't chewing his food. He wasn't doing certain things right. He wasn't taking care of his body. That's why he went through some of those things. That's what the doctor said. But do I think it could have been spiritual? I don't know. I personally don't know. I know me and him have went through certain things and things have been said in the wrong way, which I was in a place of darkness and now I come into light. So I'm more intentional about how I speak. But when they start consuming you and putting you in a spiritual community and try to get you to say something the wrong way so it can come back on you, it doesn't work. Because you consume somebody, it goes back onto you. It goes to you. And so I know everything that they've been doing against me in spirituality, and I haven't done anything back to them. I fight them and let them know you shall surely die with the wicked, because God says it. The word of God don't lie. And I consider that the word of a divine Holy Spirit, because the prophets and prophetess can be used in many different ways with that divine Holy Spirit prior to the 400 years ending to make sure that the 144,000 came together as a collective. Now, I'm going based off of scriptures. That's all I'm speaking on. Because, see, that's the thing about it. This is what the other woman, she said she was a woman in church and she did this and she did that. See, they have passed down this system to you all to give you all an illusion to think that you can do whatever you want in the spirit as long as you do right in the flesh. And that's wrong. And that's for the women. Right? And then the men, they got you all lying in the physical and going back in the spiritual and doing what's right. Why? Because this men knew that the spirit had to be done. You have to do things right in the spirit. You all are under a system that is going to possibly be cause for your own destruction with yourself. Like you going to put yourself in a position where you could be under certain mental health problems such as bipolar disorder, because you all are straddling the fence on two different ways. You're not in alignment. We're supposed to be in alignment in spirit, in truth, in the flesh, in balance, as well as in the spirit and in the flesh. We should be aligned, balanced in the spirit, balanced in the flesh. Period. Because both two is connected. Both, you're made up of both of the two. And we're really supposed to operate more from a divine spirit and have more compassion and love and kindness and forgiveness towards each other. That's how we're supposed to be, And I just think that they've been doing things in the spirit and been getting away with it. And now it's time for natural order, natural truth, natural balance, and most importantly, natural justice. You all cannot control the elements. You all cannot control the cosmos. You all cannot control the universe. You all don't have any power and control over the spiritual realm anymore, because everybody that comes into a spiritual awakening and spiritual community, if they do things in the right way and you have the proper knowledge, you have authority over the spirit. When you come into that recognition and you realize that, and you know that you have authority over the spirit, you're not scared of nothing or no one. So all my life, I have not ever been scared of anything, scared to speak my truth, scared to operate in truth. I haven't been any of that. I've been good. You know, and I've always been confident in myself and my decisions that I made for myself. I haven't ever made decisions where I felt like I did not think things through clearly. I just moved based off of doing what I know I wanted to do. And that's how I still move. Because I know I'm going to move in the right direction. But when you get older, you know, you start to make more conscious decisions. You try to clean yourself up more little by little as you get older, because we're supposed to advance on ourselves. We're supposed to be like that. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's been somebody or something, there's whatever bloodline is in control, or let me not say that. They're not in control. Whatever bloodline has been governing spirituality and doing certain things in a certain way, that's the bloodline right now that is paying the most, because they were not in truth in the spirit. Some of these people have been pretending to be the ancestors throughout this entire spiritual awakening, where a lot of people started doing more ancestor worship. This started happening more. This whole ancestor worship. I have not ever heard anything about ancestor worship really until right before COVID. Right before COVID, I have not ever heard anything about ancestor worship until then. Y'all got to hear what I'm saying. Again, until right before COVID, I had not heard anything about ancestor worship. I never knew nothing about really your ancestors too much. I always said guardian angels. That's what I always said. And then as I came into spiritual awakening and more spiritual knowledge and spiritual balance, that's when I started to realize, oh, well, they're no different, because your ancestors can be your spirit guides or your guardian angels. So this is just a real quick video because I wanted to touch on this again and just kind of talk about some of these things, because I think this is the cause for a lot of chaos happening spiritually. And I'm not giving my gifts, part of my soul, a part of my mind, a part of my body to any man spiritually. I'm not doing that. And it's not that I don't want to do that. It's just that I'm celibate right now. I'm not with anybody. So because I'm celibate and I'm not intimate with someone else, then that means that, you know, all of this is for me to handle with care until I find somebody that I actually want to be with. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I don't want to just be laying up with anybody, because that's something else that I came into more of a awareness of when I came into this journey. I created a parasite cleanse, because I started to see ways that parasites was a big root of the problem. And that's the parasite is the physical. And then you have a physical parasite, and that physical parasite has a spiritual parasite. So basically it comes into us based off of what our senses come in contact with. So you could get a spiritual parasite based off of what you're watching. You could. But that spiritual parasite has no power and control over you if your soul is already aligned to the right source. So that parasite, you get what I'm saying? And so if you know who you are and the power and authority also that you have control and authority over that entity, that spiritual entity, or that spiritual parasite. So like I said, I created a parasite cleanse, and then I also went through different cleansing methods to cleanse my senses for certain things that I listened to, watched, everything. And this was all during COVID time. So I felt like COVID was something that was holistic. When I came into when COVID, I sat right in the middle right at the onset of COVID. I separated from the drama and trauma that I was experiencing in the home that I was at, and I went to another. I relocated 2 hours away. It was my first time staying by myself in my entire life because I was fresh out of my mother's house and got married, and so I went through that time and that phase, and that's when I was able to see a lot more and spend a lot more time with myself. I was very observant of my own body, my own mind, my own soul, and everything that I came in contact with. I was intentional about what I listened to. I was intentional about what I watched. And a lot of things that I used to watch, I stopped watching it. I didn't watch scary movies anymore. I didn't do anything that was really, that contributed to me having that, uh, any negative spirits that would put too much darkness in me. So I was contributing and giving myself more light, you know. So I believe my light started to outshine the darkness that was within me and the darkness that I had been through. And I am grateful for that. It's a journey. It's a developmental stage. And I'm learning that just like Aaliyah said, rest peacefully, baby girl. Aaliyah said that age is nothing but a number. And time is infinite for me. You know, time does not exist for me. And I'm flowing and growing and developing and and just glowing and enjoying life. But there's things that's going to come up throughout this entire life, and we got to know how to handle things properly to prevent ourselves from being in any type of um furthermore karmic situations, because I feel like that's what's coming up right now. I feel like because this is the year of completion in a lot of karmic cycles, which karmic is basically trauma, drama, pain, unhealed emotions, unhealed feelings, and um, suppressed anger or suppressed pain. I don't have any suppressed pain because I have an understanding and overstanding of situations. So it may seem like when they come into spirituality, when you come in spirituality, they're projecting pain to you they'll come to you and just be like, oh, that's, oh, if you even think about something, if you're contemplating, they're literally listening to your mind, and they'll come in to you to try to give you a thought that makes you think negative. That's what they'll do. You have to ignore it, or you can respond to it. If you respond to it, they try to consume you and do things to you and release themselves on you. They try to do things to you spiritually. And that's why I said these people that are doing these things, these bloodlines, I think that those bloodlines, and I don't like to call them royal bloodlines. I just call them bloodlines. And they're most likely going to be bloodlines that are of serpent seeds, because they're still trying to control things. The serpent seeds like to control things, and they still don't know who they are. They haven't balanced themselves within themselves either. But this earth is balanced. She was always balanced. She was always balanced. So why would she not be balanced now? She's balanced. So everything that exists upon the earth has to come into fruition, because this sacred divine feminine, this Tiamat, she had divine powers as well. As she was balanced. She was a creator. Period. That's it. So do you think that she was a woman that walked around angry and aggressive? No. Just like Tehuti in Moana,
You see, she was loving, she was gentle. Do you see when they restored her heart to her? Do you see when they took her heart, how she was all fire, she was rage at the end. And then Moana walked up and just put her heart back into her, and she just blossomed and became all flowers and beautiful again. Our hearts as women have to be restored after, we have to mend it back together. We have to heal ourselves. And do you know nobody's going to tell you along this journey that you got to save you? You got to love you. You the one that got to set the boundary. If you know he using you, don't go back on the spiritual realm and say, "Oh, I'm going to watch him. Oh, I'm going to control him. Oh, he want to do this. This is what I'm fixing to do." Girl, you wasting your time. Beloved, give yourself that love and that time and that energy that you trying to put into controlling him on a spiritual realm. That is going to be a downfall for you. So I'm speaking to all beloveds. Y'all are so precious and so beautiful. And this is coming from a divine great mother I'm channeling right now. And she's saying, y'all are giving too much of your time and your power and your energy to external sources. And I'm saying external sources. You could be giving it to a YouTube channel. You could be giving it to a celebrity. You could be giving it to your mother. You could be giving it to your brother. We give them too much of our time, and we're supposed to internalize this so we can come back outright. You get what I'm saying? So it's not that, and when you go into it, we got to balance it. So we don't give ourselves the whole entire day when we know we got kids, right? We're not going to give ourselves the whole entire day when we know we got kids, because we want to get out and get the kids out and do things with them. But if the kids decide, and you got older kids, like I got a mixture. I got two younger ones and I got some teenagers. But the two youngest ones, they normally cool. They want to ride sometimes. And sometimes the middle schooler, the late middle schooler, he wants to too. But they're all developing, and we want to still give them room to make decisions for themselves too, because they got to grow into and develop into their confidence and their discernment and set boundaries for themselves. We want them to be able to do those things themselves before they go into their relationships and go out there in the world as well. So I just wanted to address that and drop that real quick. I definitely think that this is something that has to be addressed. We as women are we are the main ones. The men do what works for them, and some of the men have been trying to guide us in a way that they in a certain way, because they were not able to guide us in any other way. That's like my ex, for instance. The pain that he causes me, it only triggers change in me. It only triggers healthy boundaries. So for instance, today he don't pay child support. And so he was like, "Well, tell me whatever they need and I'm gonna get what they need." So I was like, "Okay." And so today I was like, well, I was telling him, he was like, "Well, I don't have it." And he's been saying this and he's been doing this for, like, he was sick. So I did not put him on child support while he was sick, because he was sick. He wasn't working like that. Why would you kick somebody while they're down? We don't do that. Okay, so we be patient and we put in more work, because it takes two. Where he is not able to do, I am grateful I had the wealth, I had the health, I had the strength, I had the gifts, I had the mindset for me to keep my kids going and, supplement. All I had to do was budget and set boundaries in certain area, and that's okay with me. And most of the boundaries, ladies, we're gonna set them with ourselves first, because we're gonna make these kids good. And so I was just like, "Oh, we need." The kids they want to do this club and that club and this event, that event. They got fees that's starting to come up. So you're not paying child support. So can you set out amount each week? Because I don't have time to contact you. I don't want to talk to you that much throughout the week for me to come and tell you, oh, what the kids need. I don't want to do that. And I don't want to keep sending the messages to you about what they need, as if I need for you to do everything, because I'm in a transition state right now, transition from one employer to another. And so I don't want to take time out my schedule to keep interacting with you. And not that I have something against you, but I still have to set boundaries with you too, because I don't want for anything to develop, and I don't know what your situation is with this girl, because you give me one thing, and this girl apparently they say she's the one connecting with me spiritually and telepathically. She's ghetto and ratchet, 444. Because I would not ever speak with somebody spiritually if I'm not connecting with you physically. Just because your gifts is activated, your crown is activated, that doesn't mean you telepathically connect and just violate people's boundaries spiritually, unless you know you watching them because somebody else watching them and you trying to protect them, and you don't say nothing to them, and you don't do nothing out of the ordinary. Those people are divine beings. God hired them. Who am I to fire them? But you, in your ratchetness, you coming to me to connect with me when you don't want to talk to me physically, and you make sure that you hide from me. No, ma'am. You will not connect with me spiritually or telepathically, because then I'm going to think that you're trying to do something in sorcery, in which I know you are, but none of that stuff work. It's just you waste your time. You're wasting your time, and these people have used you. And you know, I don't feel bad for you, because you got to make good decisions. You have to make good decisions. And you definitely gonna have to make good decisions if you think my children gonna be around you and you don't know how to make good decisions. Because I'm gonna let him know again, that woman cannot be around my children because I'm going through certain problems again, and I have shut it down before, and I will shut it down again. I'm patient. I'm kind. I am gentle with myself as well as others. So I just wanted to kind of make this video just to touch on it. And to make sure I address, ladies, you are love. If you are love, y'all got to give yourself the love that you know you want to receive, because we may not receive it the way we want to receive it from others. But if we give it to ourselves and people see how we love ourselves, do you know that what they're going to do? They're going to piggyback on you. They're going to want to love you too. And that's the love, that's the state. That's where I'm rooted at, because it's a developmental stage for me, you know. And I'm not against the men and how they've done things. I don't hate the men. I don't hate the women. I don't hate you all. I don't like y'all in spirituality, because y'all have been so 717 ghetto. Now it was 2717, the minutes and the seconds. But yeah. And it's something with a twin flame basically. And those things I don't know about. I think a lot of that stuff is man-made. It's not natural order, you know. It's control. That's like the whole simulation situations that they're doing. All that stuff is control. It's patriarchy control. And in the patriarchy that's been controlling things, I'm just letting you all know, coming from a woman that is balanced, has the divine wisdom of a masculine, the divine wisdom of a feminine. I'm letting the men know, y'all might want to balance that thing out. I know things has been working for y'all in one way, but if you don't know how to have compassion and love and go above and beyond now for a woman without expecting something in return from her spiritually or physically, then y'all are going to be in debt. And I don't want, and the debt is, I'm not trying to say, I'm just saying, I'm just going to leave it there. Y'all going to be in, you're putting yourself in a place to be in debt. You could be in debt with yourself. You could be in debt with someone else. I don't know. But if you are not, it's got to be right. It's got to be some form of righteous reciprocity at this point, especially from the men that call themselves divine, that say they are divine, but they're actually not aligned and balanced. Because in order to be divine, you got to be balanced. You got to have the divine. The divine part of it is the truth. It's the love. It's the ability to go a little bit above and beyond in situations where it's needed and necessary. We as women are going to do that, some of us. But some of the women, they are a bit imbalanced too, ladies. I need you. I need y'all. I really do. I need y'all to balance out, because I don't want to keep being attacked spiritually from me speaking the truth. And I'm trying my best to hold back tears, because I'm not a person that's going to cry right now. But the women are the main ones that I catch so much heat from y'all, because y'all are the ones that I have reached out in the past when my ex was cheating, and I reach out to the women and like, hey, he's been doing such and such and such. Do you know him? I'm on their side when I call, right? Because he's the problem. But I'm trying to get the truth from them. And I'm actually asking them, and I'm like, I just wanted to know, what is it he's telling me he don't do nothing with you. He's telling me he don't talk to you. Y'all don't have sex or none of that. But I feel like it's not the truth, right? And so then I'll asking them, oh, you need to talk to your man. That's your man. You talk to your man. This is the other women. And when I kept seeing, I'm like, why he keep going for these type of women that's in opposition of me? I was like, I'm gonna let him go and let him go where he need to be, because that must be what he is attracting. Because he can't attract me anymore. So I had to go within myself to make sure I was 100% correct. Child, I went on this whole journey. I done gained so many daggone wings and so many gifts. And that was not my intention. I was just working on myself and healing from all the pain of a man, y'all. I've been going through pain with men all my life. And it started at like maybe between 3 to 5 years old, me being molested by men that were my next door neighbors. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. In addition to that, it continued in every house that we moved to. And it was all, now as I got older, now I know it was all for my power. That's how the patriarchy system is set up spiritually for a woman. And the women are in a spiritual community under a certain universe, and then they have the men under another spiritual community